lads and ladies, and welcome to this. Now today we are back for another video. Now today we are reacting to my 2019-2020 League One predictions. Now on the 8th of July 2019 we sat down and diverged the league, how it was going to finish, and a lot of things happened since then. Bury were kicked out of the league, Fleetwood went to go and sign another 8 players, and it changed drastically. I probably did it a bit too early to judge. However, now looking at where I actually put those teams, a lot have changed. So we'll get into that in this video. Please subscribe if you're new. We're trying to hit 6,000 by the end of the year, and all support will be appreciated. So click subscribe and click the bell icon so you never miss out on another video. Now, we did put Bury as 24th. Now, because Bury got kicked out of the league, we're going from 23rd. Now, it does get a bit confusing when we get to the playoff predictions. However, in 23rd, we went for Wickham. We said they have no money. We don't think they can overachieve again by staying up in the league. They just stayed up last year. Accrington was their main man, and they did so well. They brought in some good players in. They were so good all throughout the season. They started well, and the home form was tremendous. And they went up by winning the playoffs and finishing 3rd on PPG. They actually finished 8th, but on PPG they finished 3rd. So just outside of the playoffs, and then got in on PPG. But what a remarkable achievement. And 22nd, we went for Rochdale. Now, they finished 19th and just stayed up, but it was quite a bit of a gap. It was about 8-9 points they stayed up by. I just thought Barry Brian Murphy wasn't quite experienced enough to guide them through a relegation battle again. I just thought he did it last year. However, you go on a honeymoon period when the manager comes in. However, he did well with the Rochdale squad. However, he's lost a few good players this year, so it'll be interesting to see how they actually do. In 21st, I went for AFC Wimbledon. I said they stayed up last year remarkably when they were like 12 points adrift, and they stayed up on the final day at Bradford. Now this time I went for them in 21st, where they actually finished 20th, so outside the relegation zone. I think it was by 3 points. Because Tranmere had a game in hand and Tranmere went down on PPG, which is absolutely gutting for them. 20th, I went for Shrewsbury. Now, they actually finished 16th, so again, a bit like Rochdale. I thought they'd be in a relegation battle, but ended up a bit more comfy and lower mid-table. They had a good season, some highlights, getting Liverpool to a replay, and then obviously losing 1-0 at Anfield. I thought they were good against Fleetwood at Highbury when they drew 2-2. Jason Cummings is a good player as well. And I think they can go one better next year, maybe break into the top 12. However, a quite solid season for Shrewsbury to remain their League One place like I thought they would do. Now, there's a lot in these predictions that I'm kind of 1 or 2 wrong in positions. Tranmere, I went for 19th. Now, Tranmere were actually, before they finished 21st, were on a roll. They just won their last 3 away games. And in my opinion, if this season would have carried on, they would have stayed up in this division. However, Tranmere went down, unfortunately for them, and I think they will be back. They've just brought in a new manager, and I think he will guide them back up from League 2. I hope they do. They've got a good fan base, but for me, I got that one wrong, and they did end up going down. 18th, I said it, I would bet money on Accrington Stanley not going down, and people thought, oh no, they're going down, second season syndrome. I said they'd finish 18th, they ended up finishing 17th. So they did really well again this season. Comfy mid-table. They had some good highlights in there. They beat Bolton at home, absolutely smashed them goals for fun. I thought they were better this year than they were last year. I thought the experience, obviously they did lose key man Billy Key, who is now retired from professional football. So fair play to him for that, a great career. In 17th, I said Southend United. They ended up finishing 22nd. I think they only got about 19 points as well, so they finished 5 points above Bolton. However, Bolton would have finished above them if they didn't have the minus point deduction. They had an awful season, probably one of the worst sides I've ever seen in League One, but managed to take a point off us, 3-3 at Roots Hall. And we've gone into an embargo now, and they've not got a manager, so it's really tough times for them right now. Sol Campbell has left the club. I just hope they can be back. They're a good football club, lovely ground, good fan base. And again, not a bad prediction. I said MK Dons would finish 16th. They did start really poorly. They had a lot of injuries, kind of like Reece Healy were out, and they just had like one striker to the name for a while. And obviously changed manager, Russell Martin came in and freshened up the ideas at MK Dons, got them outside the relegation zone, and ended up finishing 18th in League One. I said they finished 16th, so I thought they'd finish a bit higher than they were. However, if Russell Martin was there from the start of the season, I believe they would have finished higher than 18th place. 15th, a team I respect, Gillingham. Now, I said they lost a lot of key players. However, I thought this year they had a better squad, but they just didn't have the Tommies in the squad. And I believe if Tommies would have been in that squad, they could have been firing all cylinders for the playoffs, if I'm honest. Steve Evans is a good manager. I've said they finished 16th, they finished 11th, so absolutely hammered my position. Up 5, did really well, consistent season, and I think it's a season that they can build on. And I think if you ask Gills fans in July the 8th, would you take 11th in Sky Bet League One, they would have snapped your hand off. 14th, yeah, let's just forget about that. We put Bolton Wanderers. Now, I don't know what my thought process was that, because they started the season with 17, 18-year-old kids. However, to be fair, when they got a few more extra experienced players in, they brought Keith Hill and Flitcroft in, they did slowly improving. 14 points collected, 26 in total. I don't think they did that bad towards the end. I thought, obviously, it's the right decision to get rid of the managers towards the end and start fresh. And they have done in League 2 this year, signed Ian Doyle, Antoni Sarcevic, Crowley from Colchester United. So I think they will be back, but for me, this year, they were always going to go down from August, really. I think they expected it. And 13th, I said newly promoted Lincoln City would get 13th. Now, they started the season really well with their managers, the Cowley brothers. However, they finished 15th when Michael Appleton came in. And for me, I think they had a good season. They stabilised themselves. I thought if Cowley was there, they would have got top 10, if I'm honest, from the way they started the season. However, the managerial change kind of rigged them a bit. And now, for me, this is the worst one. In 12th, I said Coventry. Now, I thought Coventry would stabilise themselves again and go again next year. However, this year, they were a breath of fresh air. Mark Robbins has done a terrific job. 44 away games. He's not spent that much money on his squad. He goes for frees, loan players, and he improves the player. And what a season they have had. Won promotion, won the league, and honestly, I believe they would have gone up by about 10 points if the season would have carried on. A breath of fresh air, unbelievable set of supporters. 11th, Oxford. Now, if you asked me this in October, November, I would say, oh yeah, they would finish about a bit lower than that. However, they went on an unbelievable run. They were on an unbelievable run when the season was curtailed, a bit like Fleetwood. Carl Robinson, what a job he's done there. He competed with Manchester City at home. He beat West Ham at home in the Cup, and they finished 4th in Sky Bet League One. Never mind 11th, up 7 again. So off in my prediction. He had a great season, unfortunately losing in the playoff final. 10th, I said Burton. I thought they were very confident in getting into the top 10. However, lost Boyce, their main man, and lost a few goals in my opinion. Finished 12th, again a consistent season for the Brewers. They had some good moments this year. They obviously had a cut run last season. Obviously the manager now has left, Nigel Clough, and they've got Buxton in, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. Bristol Rovers are put in 9th. Now, Bristol Rovers were around Christmas were 7th in League One, and they were flying, and I thought they could get into the playoffs. However, a bad run after they played Fleetwood. I think they went about 10 games without a win, and it did affect them really. And unfortunately for them, they ended up finishing 14th. After a good summer window last year, Blackpool, I predicted 8th. Now, I got called biased. I didn't think they'd get into the playoffs. However, they had a good season to start with. Then after Christmas, it just kind of fell to pieces, and they ended up finishing 13th in League One. However, they've invested well this summer as well, so it'll be interesting to see how Neil Critchley will get on with a young bunch of players. Just missing outside of the playoffs is the worst position to be. I put Doncaster, and they finished 9th. Now, Doncaster were a team that were always just outside the playoffs and maybe could have gotten if they hit a good run of form. However, they just didn't kind of perform in the end. But again, had a good season. Obviously, beat us at home. And here comes the biasness, as I said. 6th, Fleetwood. Fleetwood finished 6th on PPG. Now, we were flying, we were 12 unbeaten, 6 wins, 6 draws, and we played a lot of the top teams in that run. However, unfortunately, we lost out on the playoffs. A good season for Fleetwood. Again, overachieved to get there, and very, very happy that we did get into the playoffs. And 5th, and I said this team would win the playoffs, Rotherham United. Now, they did go up a different way. They went up as 2nd with 62 points. If the season would have carried on, I believe they would have gone up. It's hard to say now with a long break, but I believe they would have gone up either automatically or through the playoffs. Fourth, I said Portsmouth. Now, Portsmouth had a good summer window last year. They finished 5th in League One. Now, that is a big drop because 4th, you get your home leg. 2nd, 5th, you're playing at home first. So, one place below where I thought they'd finish. They had a decent season. Again, they were fighting for automatic promotion. However, I don't think the manager's the right man for the job. Now, in third, I said Peterborough. Now, this is where it gets confusing because Peterborough were actually 6th but finished 7th on PPG. I believe Peterborough would have got into the playoff final at least. I believe they would have been fighting. They had one of the best squads in the league. Elsa, Tony, Dan Butler, Christy Pym. It just goes on. Beavers as well. They're such a strong 11. They invested heavily. And for me, I feel really sorry for them. But I think this will make them strong and they'll go again next year. Second, I said Sunderland. Now, they finished 7th but ended up 8th on PPG. Now, Sunderland, again, I thought could have got into the playoffs if the season would have carried on. For me, the ownership, I'm glad Stuart Donald has gone. They can finally invest a bit of money into the football club. They've got a great set of supporters, one of the best in the EFL in my opinion. They've got an okay team. I think obviously they've got expectations. That doesn't help a lot. But again, when Sunderland are on fire, they will click. And I genuinely believe they should be fighting for the title next year. First, I went for Ipswich. Now, they finished 10th, but on PPG they finished 11th. Now, they started unbelievably. Up to December, they would have been top of the league. And Alex Griffin, he would have been telling you 100 points, 100 goals, unbeaten. But unfortunately for them, they lost to Accrington Stanley. And that was kind of a wobble for them. I think that affected them. And I think they found out the league then for a while. And then, obviously, went on an unbelievably, terribly run. Lost to Lincoln. Obviously, they drew to Wickham at home. I know that was a struggle result for them. Lost to Fleetwood at home. And they were just getting turned over, unfortunately, for them, which they didn't deserve. Thank you for watching today's video. How many predictions did you get right in August? Who surprised you the most? Wickham, fair play to them. Angels did a fantastic job. I think my predictions were awful, if I'm honest. But I think I got a few 2 to 3 places below. Fleetwood was the only one that I got spot on. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy it. Please smash the like rating on this one and I will see you in the next one. Up the cods.